Hi everyone, this is Dr. Rob and welcome back to this little mini episode of Dance PREHAB Dialogues. Like so many other physical therapists, we got into the work that we do because we wanted to work with dancers. Much of that is a result of us being injured ourselves, and for some of us, going into physical therapy is an attempt to fill a gap that we felt like we had in our own rehab experience, or perhaps we wanted to carry forth the positive experiences that we did have in rehab. So in our work as physical therapists, specifically in the youth dance environment, I suppose you could say that it's rather ironic that the more that we're in this community, the more we see a need for non-dance movement. On a social and cultural level, I think we're generally driven by this idea that more is better. More training, more class, more master classes, more competitions. In some ways, it makes sense that we would feel this way. We believe that more exposure to opportunities perhaps means that there is a higher chance of success. But I'm here to say today that the more that we treat our younger dancers, the more we actually see a need for basic human movement. To run, to skip, to jump, to crawl, to explore their different capacities for movement in human ways. If I were to draw an analogy, physical literacy and learning movement is very much like learning a new language, right? First off, the more languages you can speak, the more ways you can express yourself. And we're not just talking about dance styles, we're talking about beyond that. Different movement qualities that you might not have had the chance to explore as a dancer, right? Many dancers come to us and say, oh, I'm so bad at anything that requires throwing or catching a ball. On one hand, it's great that you found dance as a physical outlet for something that you like to do, but sometimes we can't help but wonder, what things are you holding back from because you believe you can't do something, right? And two, the best time to build any sort of mind-body connections is when you're growing, much like people who learn a second language. You may have learned it at a younger age and then forgot it later down the line. But when it comes to picking it back up again, you might find that it's actually easier because during those periods of growth, you've already made those brain connections. Later down the line, it's just really about reawakening those patterns instead of having to make new ones when we're just, as a human, not as good as making them. So this is purely anecdotal on our part, but we do see that with dancers who do things outside of dance, who played sports, who are running around, who are constantly exploring their environments. Here in Southern California, many of them skate or surf or snowboard, or perhaps some dancers have had the opportunity to train with us. The process of coming back from injury is much more streamlined. It's more streamlined because you're essentially reminding the body and the mind of what it is capable of doing, instead of trying to teach new things. If you're exposed to different types of movement outside of dance, your body has learned to handle a wide variety of types of stress, and that will take you through dance, but that will also take you through life as well. So if you ever see us training dancers by throwing or catching a ball, or playing games, or asking them to do non-dance things, it's because while we see the dancer in front of us, we also want to see and address the human behind the dancer. So let's move.